What's going on, guys, in the works? And we are playing some in-game conquest today on Sabalon Pipeline, and this is actually one of the maps that I've probably played the fewest out of all the in-game maps. I feel like Sabalon Pipeline is the one that never comes up. It's always Keosar Railroad or Operation Riverside. Very rarely do I ever get to play Sabalon Pipeline, so I hopped in here. I'm doing some solo work by myself, and I'm just running around with the M249. I'm just having fun. This is what, this is the typical Battlefield 3 game, what you're going to see in front of you. I do a little bit of everything. I run around with the M249. I jump in the tank. I spot enemies. I drive around in the anti-air Humvee for a little bit. So there's some shenanigans that go on. I C4 some vehicles. So, it's actually a fun game of gameplay. I think this gameplay kind of encapsulates everything that Battlefield 3 is all about. So I was like, this will be perfect for what we're going to talk about today, which is squad sizes and squad specializations. And I am playing by myself. I already mentioned that. And it's actually kind of tough to play Battlefield 3 by yourself, but it's not impossible. But one of the problems when you do play with a lot of friends is the squad sizes. Now, the squad sizes make sense. Battlefield 3 was built from the ground up with 4 people per squad, 4 classes. Each person can play one of the classes. It makes sense if you think about it. But my problem is I've always played Battlefield games, and Battlefield used to have 6-man squads, and I was really used to 6-man squads. It's really frustrating when you've got multiple people in the game with you to have to break up into separate squads, because that really hurts the flow of the game. And I started to think about it, and when I originally wanted to do this video and talk about squad sizes, I was going to be on the corner like, hey, why don't we actually increase squad sizes back to 6? Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? I mean, it would allow more people to play together, because multiplayer games are all about the social interaction, playing with friends, having a good time. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, that would just create more problems. And the way Battlefield 3 is actually set up, I can't imagine Battlefield 4 would be that much different, that 6-man squads would work that well. And the reason behind that is because of the way the medic mechanics work. They would have to actually change that. Because if you got 6 people spawning on, well, I guess 5 people could potentially spawn on 1 person. That's a pretty big deal. That would change the way a lot of these maps play. That would really change the mindset you have to take in Battlefield 3. So I don't know if I would want to see something like that in Battlefield 4, surprisingly. It's kind of a shocker to hear myself say that, let alone, endorse it. But I think the squad sizes should definitely stay at 4. I think it makes the game a little bit more balanced, unless they figure out a way to make the maps integrate into larger squad size. Maybe nerf the medic to an extent where you don't have 6-man medic trains running around, because that's already a problem with 4 people. Imagine it with 6 people. It could get quite frustrating, kind of like squad deathmatch. So that's my stance on that. But I want to know what you guys think. How do you guys like the squad sizes? Because, I'm not opposed to bigger squads. When I think about it, I'm like, okay, I see why they're doing it the way they do it. 6-man squads would be kind of chaotic on some of these maps. So let me know what you guys think, because I'm actually pretty interested, because, the community seems to be split on this. A lot of the old school players really like the larger squads. It allows them to get more friends in there. But some of the new school players are like, hey, I like Battlefield 3 the way it is. I don't want them to change a single thing in Battlefield 4. But one of the most interesting things, in my opinion, with squads in Battlefield 3 are the specializations. And it's something that I really look forward to in Battlefield 4. Where are they going to take specializations? Are they going to take it to the next level? Because a lot of people didn't like the introduction at first. I think a lot of people, when they found out specializations were going to be a big part of Battlefield 3, they're like, oh, they're going the Call of Duty route. But really what we got is something that helps your players. It helps your teammates. The squad specializations were really awesome. They're pretty passive. I mean, if you look at a lot of them, they give you more ammo, more grenades, more explosives, squad cover, squad suppression, all things that can counter one another, all things that help your teammates. And that's one of the cool things about Battlefield 3. I mean, squad flak, that's awesome. Give your teammates protection from explosives. That's just across the board something that I thought was a brilliant idea. I think it works perfectly, but there are some problems with it. There's nothing more annoying in the world than getting into a squad with 3 people that are running squad ammo. That's like, oh man, I got extra ammo, 3 times ammo, brah. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And I would like to see them in Battlefield 4 put something into the game that actually stopped other players from stacking squad perks like that. So let's say I have on squad ammo. Let's say Billy joins my squad, we want to play together, and Billy also tries to put on squad ammo. The game would actually say that was like unavailable, or wouldn't let him actually put that on there because I already have squad ammo on. That would make it so that we don't run into those situations anymore. I know it's pretty trivial to be like, oh, okay, people are too stupid to do that. But a lot of times, if you're not playing with friends, if you're just playing, solo like I'm doing here, it's really hard to communicate with people. So that would make it so that it would force them to use a different squad perk. I think that would be beneficial. I think that would be awesome. It would totally revolutionize the squad specialization system, because you would finally get to see some of the other ones that aren't the same. You don't have 3 people running squad ammo, squad sprint, which I think are probably the 2 most common ones you see, probably because they're the first 2 you unlock. But a lot of questions have been surrounding, what kind of different specializations are they going to bring into the game? I know a lot of the rumored things back when Premium first released was that they were going to release new specializations, squad healing. That was one that was thrown around, because apparently that was one that existed in a really early build of the game. I mean, I don't know how legit that information is, but I've heard that several different times. So I actually think that would be an interesting one to add into Battlefield 4. And essentially what it would do is it would increase the heal time. So you would heal much faster. I don't know if that revolves around standing on a med pack or just you healing faster, as a general rule. Like everybody in your squad heals a little bit quicker. I think that's cool. I mean, that's something that was actually in Homefront, if you remember. That was actually a perk, and it worked out pretty good. I think that was one of the coolest things about Homefront, were some of the uniqueness behind some of their perk systems and stuff. So I would definitely love to see something like that. Another idea I've had is actually something that revolves around repairing faster. So a squad repair, something, probably come up with a fancier name than that, but essentially it would allow you to repair vehicles a little bit faster. Now, honestly, that would require them to tune the repair tool so it doesn't get overpowered, because I know that they nerfed the repair tool. It used to repair much faster back in some of the earlier versions of Battlefield 3, but I would love to see them bring something like that in there, because it's a passive perk. It's something that's not going to be a huge game breaker, but it would promote people to, hey, get out and repair the vehicles. You can repair it a lot faster than you used to. And that's something that I would love to see in Battlefield 4. I think that would be an awesome idea. But I'm going to ask you guys, I'm really kind of curious, what kind of squad specializations would you like to see them bring into the game? Heck, do you even want to see squad specializations return? Because I know it is a very polarizing topic. Some people really like the specializations. Other people think it's just too much like Call of Duty. I'm pretty much, I'm pro specializations. I think it adds a new dynamic to the game. I think due to the fact that a lot of these things are passive, you don't have to... It's not like it increases your bullet damage or anything crazy like that. Usually they give you just a slight little bonus, an extra grenade, an extra explosive round. So let me know any ideas you guys might have for some squad specializations. I'd really like to hear them. I'm going to actually read through the comments, because this is something that I'm generally interested in. We're leading up to the Battlefield 4 multiplayer reveals, where we're going to get all the juicy details. So I'd love to see if some of the ideas you guys have actually come to fruition in the full build of Battlefield 4. But if you missed my past videos, here's a chance to catch up, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.